Good morning, I'm Mikey Oreta, and this is Executive Insights, where we get unparalleled perspectives from the leaders shaping today's business scene. Now, our guest today is Jack Madrid. He's the President and CEO of the IT and Business Process Association of the Philippines. Good morning, Jack. Thank you for being here with us.
It's good to be here, Mikey.
Okay, so Jack, you are a very rare breed. You are the captain of an industry where the Philippines is actually a global leader. How did you get to where you are today, and what was that road like?
I wish I could answer that question simply, but you can never really connect the dots forward. I connect the dots backward. I think, my journey, has been a series of very unexpected, almost serendipitous series of events that have led to my present position. So, I think the one quality that I will say is the quality of curiosity and not being afraid to reinvent oneself.
Absolutely, and we'll get to that as you continue to reinvent yourself. So Jack, you've held various leadership roles. You started with Citibank, Hong Kong and Manila, Ayala Corporation, MTV Philippines, Dell International, Yahoo Philippines, and Multiply.com back in the day, and now IT-BPM. Can you tell us about which of these roles did you enjoy the most?
Wow, that's like asking me to choose my favorite child. I loved all my jobs. I learned very different things from each one, and so it's really hard to say what my favorite one was.
Okay, take us back in time. Let's start with Citibank, Manila, and Hong Kong. What did you learn from this experience?
Wow, great question. Citibank was my MBA. I went to business school, but I did not pursue an MBA because Citibank was it. I learned what relationship management was. I took care of the bank's multinational customers in both Manila and Hong Kong. And I think I also learned the value of dealing with ambiguity, different reporting structures, matrix reporting, because there was regional, local, global, and I had to understand what that meant and manage around it.
Great foundations, and then after that, Ayala Corporation. How did you get from Citibank to there? Connect the dots for us, please.
That's another wonderful, component of the journey. I got a phone call. Ayala was one of my clients. I was handling also local conglomerates, and they asked me if I wanted to join their strategic planning group. And I was very surprised because I thought I would spend my entire career as a banker.
Yeah.
But it was a rare chance, to join, I would say, the most prestigious company in the country. And maybe a little bit of curiosity as to what it was like from the client side, because with Citibank, I was serving clients.
So you got the other end of the spectrum.
Yes.
Now. Okay, what did you learn from that experience at Ayala Corp?
The values of partnership and how to manage stakeholders was what I got from that. I was lucky enough to be given responsibility for some milestone projects at the time. This was in the late 90s. And that's really what I learned from my days in Ayala.
And then the vibe totally changed, and you went to MTV Philippines. You led MTV Philippines. How did that come to be?
I got another phone call, Mikey, and this time from a headhunter who asked me if I wanted to run a TV station. And I really thought they were calling the wrong person because there was nothing in my experience that was media related. And so I was curious, what TV station might this be? And when I heard the three letters MTV,
which was all the rage back then.
It rang different kinds of bells in my head. The curiosity set in, and although I didn't take it very seriously at first, I decided to just throw my hat in the ring and be one of the 58 people they interviewed for the role.
Oh, that says a lot that you got that. Okay, so what did you take from MTV?
importance at that time of youth marketing, the importance of content, and how impactful events can be, because we mounted the country's largest youth entertainment events.
That was a big part of a lot of people's childhoods. And then you went to Dell International. Tell us about that.
Well, yes, at that time, the BPO industry was in its early
Infancy.
stages, and a little bit familiar with it. But the first time I walked for my interview into the Dell facility, I saw hundreds and hundreds of workstations, not yet filled, but this image of providing jobs for Filipinos excited me, and it was a very, very different kind of experience, because my years in Dell taught me managing people in a large scale. We had, well over 1,000 employees, and getting my feet wet in real operations, the nitty-gritty of operational efficiency, and I think I have to say something about the Dell culture.
Okay.
Of putting employees at the forefront of their values.
And then Yahoo, and then Multiply. Tell us about those experiences.
Well, Yahoo was exciting. It was the first global internet brand in the Philippines before Google and Facebook established presence here. And I learned all about the digital world, digital marketing, and it was media, but it was online media. And again, it was a good complement to my MTV experience.
The innate curiosity in you, the hunger to learn and try new things and reach the top of whatever it is you're doing, where does that come from? Where does that drive come from? What sparked it in your youth, and what keeps it going?
Good question. I would have to say I learned that maybe from my father, who was a curious person, always asking questions about what is this, how does it work, why is it important, and I think growing up, with him and watching his own style, he was a corporate executive, maybe instilled that curiosity in me from my very young days.
That was how it was sparked, and what keeps it going? I mean, when times get tough, you've gone from a big ship to another big ship to another big ship to another big ship. I mean, it's another thing to have the capacity and the wherewithal to take helm at these companies, but another thing to just do the job and to jump right in there and get things done. What goes into that?
When I attended university, I went to the Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania. I realized something, Mikey. I realized that it was impossible for me to ever know everything, and I learned also during my school days that the more one knows something, the more one does not know anything. And so that really kind of doubled down on this curiosity of mine. So I'm inquisitive. I like to ask questions, and knowing that there will be more questions. So it's a never-ending cycle. Yeah. So that's what keeps me going.
It's a fascinating cycle. Always curious, always interested. All right, we're going to be taking a quick break. Our conversation with Jack Madrid will continue when Executive Insights returns. We're still with Jack Madrid, the President and CEO of the IT and Business Process Association of the Philippines. Okay, Jack, now let's talk about the industry. The Philippines, home to many of the world's largest BPO companies, is in a pole position here. Can you elaborate on our position of dominance? Where do we stand in the world space?
Well, I'm proud to say that the Philippines is a world capital in BPO and IT-BPM. We have 1.7 million direct jobs for Filipinos, generating well over 35 billion in export revenue. So a critical pillar of this economy. We have earned this renown on the bedrock of Filipino talent. I like to say that the whole world wants a Filipino to resolve their issue. We are in the business of delivering customer experience, because one has to realize that, you know, what we do is really solving problems. And when people have problems, they're not in the best of moods. And so I use the term customer experience. And the Filipino is unmatched in our ability to listen, communicate, but most of all, empathize with, you know, all these millions of problems that we handle every day.
Yeah, and we've got to maintain that competitive edge. But we'll talk about this first. You mentioned the bedrock of Filipino talent. Do you think that well will ever run dry?
Well, you know, what we have today is not a lack of demand for Filipino talent. We actually have the challenge of meeting that demand with enough talent supply. And so it's a complex challenge because, you know, there's not a week where I entertain and address many investors who are still looking at establishing a footprint in the Philippines or increasing their operations here for those companies that are already here.
Yeah, and we just want that base to grow larger and larger. How far away is competition in this space? I mean, you know, it used to just be India, but now there's South Africa, Egypt, Poland, Colombia. Can you talk to us about our competitors in this landscape?
Every IT-BPM destination has their unique skill set and expertise. India would be very strong on IT and digital and engineering. The Philippines is more renowned for customer service and the ability to adapt and be creative in the way that we resolve customer concerns. But that runs across sectors like financial services, banking, and increasingly healthcare. You know, the biggest U.S. health companies are present here, aside from you know, the very renowned BPO companies. So virtually every multinational is here, including banks.
You know.
And so those domain skills are also what makes the Philippines strong.
Yeah, it's good that they're here. Now we need to keep them here, which requires a lot of, you know, planning right now. In terms of education, what do we need to be doing at the high school and collegiate, university level in order to secure the higher value jobs in the future?
To retain our market share or even to try to increase it, I think we need to double down on what we're good at, while addressing some of the maybe relative weaknesses that we have. So I like to think of it in two buckets. The first bucket is the foundational skills of communication, critical thinking, comprehension. We're good at that, but I think we can get better,
Okay.
Especially with the advent of new technology such as artificial intelligence. We can talk about that later. The other bucket that I think is equally important is really, again, establishing more renown for specific domain skills. Banking, financial services, healthcare, and the creative, you know, the creative sectors such as animation and gaming development.
Okay, now you mentioned AI a while ago. How do we, you know, when it comes to AI, there is this paranoia of job displacement that comes with it. But AI isn't the threat, right? Can you talk to us about the upside potential of this new technology, of this AI and data-driven environment, and how much upside do we have in this space on account of this new technology?
You know, the world is adapting quite quickly.
Yeah, it's not just us.
To,
the whole world
to
needs to
AI,
adapt to
and
this.
it's not just our industry either. So I look at it as both an opportunity and a challenge as well. It's an opportunity because AI has the potential to transform all our agents into super agents. Because I view generative AI as think of it as a co-worker or a co-pilot beside you, making you better, making you faster, making you more efficient. And so that's the opportunity. The thing is, the whole world has access to the same tools. And so, with those other countries that you mentioned who are poised to capture some of our market share, we need to stay ahead of the curve and drill down on specific domains. One has to understand that our industry is not one-dimensional. It is actually composed of very distinct verticals that I just mentioned. And I think, we have our strengths. I think we have high potential in banking, financial services, and obviously our renowned nurses who are providing care for North America and the rest of the world.
Well, the Philippines can win gold anywhere. We just have to put our minds to it. In terms of government support, what do you need in terms of policy to get from where we are now to where we want to be, which is like employing more people in this industry and generating more GDP from this sector?
We have many challenges that we continue to deal with as an industry. But I'll summarize it as follows. What's important to investors is the ease of doing business. We should allow our IT-BPM locators to run their businesses the way they should and not have to deal with inconsistencies in an interpretation of laws and regulations. So, as IBPAP, one of the most important foundations of our work is really to ensure that the image of the country as a good place to do business is important. So we need to continue to make it easier for investors to run their businesses here without having to deal with, unclear policies, unclear incentives, red tape, for example, because these are things that other countries are quite good at. And so we need to continue to work on the ease of doing business other than the cost of doing business.
Okay, all right, last question. As the head of IT-BPAP, what advice would you give to someone that's just starting their career in this space?
I'm glad you asked this question, Mikey, because I feel our industry is often misunderstood as being a call center industry or maybe a building filled with people who just answer the phones, all night. We are way, way more than that.
We've grown beyond that. Okay,
it has
talk to us
matured,
about that.
it has diversified into virtually every industry that you can imagine. Anything, any skill set, you can imagine is applicable. Any background, regardless of what you finished in college, you will find a long-term career in IT-BPM.
So many more prospects. So advice for this person starting out in this space?
Well, it's me, so always be curious, never stop learning, and there's never been a more exciting time to learn, unlearn, and relearn, because much of the information and knowledge is not just from the classroom anymore. It's on our phones, and a lot of it is free. Okay. So I encourage our youth to be curious and to accept and take on the personal responsibility of lifelong learning.
Yeah, because the best in this industry is yet to come. All right, thank you so much, Jack Madrid. And that's it for today's show. I'm Mikey Oreta. See you tomorrow for more key perspectives on executive insights, only here on BNC, the Bilyonaryo News Channel.